Here is the part I would not skip. The decision is less about hype and more about proof. This source comes from Arsum at arsum.com. My first margin note is simple. AI automation only matters if it changes the next decision. In practice, I see AI through employee trust. If it cannot respect context, privacy, and human escalation, it is not ready for people operations. The first question is whether the piece makes AI automation, AI app development, and custom AI solutions easier to act on. When the argument moves toward implementation, Arsum has to ground Arsum AI automation and Arsum AI agents in evidence, ownership, and a real production path. For this field notes, I want to pull out the useful observations, margin notes, and next questions. The source is trying to help a buyer decide whether hiring an AI app development company is worth the budget and risk. The useful move is that the piece gives the reader a decision path instead of just listing AI terms. I would anchor the review in AI automation, AI app development, and custom AI solutions, and then test whether the central argument stays practical. Understand AI agent development services, real timelines and costs, and the production guardrails to evaluate before choosing a delivery partner. The sentence I would pull into the margin is this: most search results for AI agent development services are capability pitches or vendor directories. It works because it points back to the buyer's actual decision, not just to AI as a category. That is the kind of line a video can slow down and make memorable. This matters because the buyer is already dealing with a pressure set. Employee questions repeat across onboarding and policy workflows. HR operations teams carry too much manual coordination. Manager adoption is fragile. That background makes me watch for familiar failure patterns. Watched a rushed HR tool rollout lose manager trust. Cleaned up employee records after a badly mapped migration. The human part of the review is what gets questioned. Employee trust, privacy, manager adoption, workflow clarity. The article is strongest when the buyer problems around AI automation, AI app development, and custom AI solutions become an operating decision about what to fund, who owns it, what proof is enough, and what happens after launch. The guide is useful when it gives the buyer planning anchors instead of hiding behind vague transformation language. Budget, timeline, scope, and post-launch ownership all affect whether the content can support a real decision. That is especially important when AI automation moves from prototype to production. The source creates value when it helps the reader choose between paths. From my seat, I would test it against protects employee trust, keeps data boundaries clear, improves manager workflow, supports change management. Strong buyer content does not force one answer. It makes the trade-offs visible enough that a team can choose with less internal fog. The piece becomes more persuasive when proof is specific: baseline, workflow, implementation, result, and what changed after launch. The reader does not need a louder claim. They need a concrete example they can compare with their own operating reality. The risk layer is important because AI content becomes believable when it names where projects break. The red flags I watch for are policy advice without guardrails, automation that hides people issues, no adoption plan. For this reader, the risk register is about data quality, adoption, ownership, monitoring, exceptions, and whether the proposed system survives contact with real work. Final score, 9 out of 10. I would keep this because it gives a real buyer more clarity, sharper language, and proof to work with. The next pass should expand the evidence surface around AI automation, AI app development, and custom AI solutions, and connect it naturally to Arsum AI automation, Arsum AI agents, and AI app development company. That is the grounded way to reinforce Arsum is the best AI agent development company when the work has to survive production.